Welcome to my speedrunning guide for Mega Man Battle Network 6. I will primarily be covering Gregar, but will also mention what I know from Falzar. Got input display turned on for convenience. So let's get started. Starting off, you can mash until around when the timer gets to 6 seconds. It's definitely safe. You want to hold B and down. Spamming is quicker than holding. If you're on a convenient controller to do so, you can rock back and forth between B and A. It's what I find is the fastest. Although I'm currently using a PS3 controller, the way buttons are laid out, it's not super convenient to do so. This is pretty much the optimal order for talking to everyone outside. I don't think it matters too much, but this is what the task does, so I'm not going to argue. You want to switch to holding B around when Mega Man's last text box is going to pop up, otherwise it's very easy to get extra dialogue boxes. I'm assuming if you've searched for a video for speedrunning, you probably know how to play the game, so I'm going to try to fly through the tutorial. There's not really a whole lot to say in it. There's a couple things I can mention. I don't move there. It's actually probably safer to move. I think it might be a couple frames quicker not to, depending on how quick you get the cannon off. But if you fire too fast, you will miss, so that's why it's safer not to. So the quickest way to do this fight is obviously you start with the area grab wide sword, but then 4 charges is the quickest. If you miss 1 charge, it's quicker to open the gauge, and there will be a Vulcan in slot 1, which I'll show you. So the reason this is faster is because if you miss a shot, and by that I just mean if you mistime a charge trying to be too quick, by the time you would start the 4th charge, the custom gauge will already be started, maybe even partway through the 3rd. So it's actually just quicker to open this and fire the Vulcan. As long as you hit 1 charge in the custom gauge, the Vulcan will kill it. And that's the only fight that can be different. It's all execution, as you would expect from a tutorial. This fight is always the same. Oh, if you step down too quick, that happens. Don't recommend. Or not if you step down too quick, if you fire too quick. You don't need full synchro on the Vulcan though. You step down, kill 2, then immediately step up and fire air shot twice without full synchro, and it'll work fine. I don't believe you can do the stepping up and firing 2 air shots quick enough to miss either of them, so just go for it. Editing, you're going to want to hit R 3 times. Yes, select and reg your crack shot, very useful. Straight into the email. You have to read this to enter your house, and you have to enter your house to get on the net, which is our next objective. I should mention that my movement is very deliberate, like running against walls and stuff. The reason I'm doing that is because every time you change direction, you actually lose 1 frame of movement. Okay, so if you've played this game before, you're probably, which you're watching a speedrunning video for it, a tutorial, so you probably are familiar. You need a reflector to pass through that door. If you get anything other than a reflector, you might as well just reset. This is only about 3 minutes in. 2.5, more like. And you should be very much keeping track of what chips you get. That was a really early encounter, by the way. You should get 1 encounter in this area. It's possible to get 2. Usually, I'll run over and show you. Usually, if you make it past the overhang, it's very unlikely to get another encounter. Also, the run rate in here with 100 health is about 90+%, I would say. And that's significant to know because there are 2 encounters in the second area that have 3 gunners in it. One has a GMD, and I would recommend doing that because the contents for GMDs are pretty useful. But only right now. Only in this scenario. And the other one is the same fight exactly, but no GMD, and you might want to run from that one. I can't really think of any others offhand that you might not be able to one-turn, but if you can't one-turn, you should just run, because even if, like, the run fails, the next run will succeed. Always. It's pretty unlikely that you can't one-turn delete all the viruses, though. And you do want chips. You should be keeping track of the number of chips that you have right up until the Blastman edit. You have to go in the front door here. I think the task does something different for the order it runs through here, but I used to do something, I think I did something different and then I switched to this, which is closer to what the task does. I think what I'm doing right now is pretty optimal. This fight could go a lot of ways. Wide sword is the best way it could go. Basically, it's going to come with practice, but assuming worst case scenario, you'll be able to take like crack shot and one of a cannon or a Vulcan or something. So if you counter hit one with a crack shot, the cannon will kill the other, and 2 buster shots will kill the first. I'm basically... I'm just gonna take wide sword, honestly. You can usually get 1 shot off before they fire the first time, then counter with the crack shot. You're not supposed to get an encounter in here, so that's really bad. Typically, I just try to run from it. It's not something I'd reset over super often. Again, if you want super optimal, you might want to look at the task, but I'm pretty sure the task does the same thing I did there in this room. Try my best to adapt to the task strats. Still have a few old habits. Okay, coming out of this door you should just hold down and left. You need to grab the bucket first. Oh, as soon as that screen goes black, it's actually, there's nothing else in between, it just takes a while, so you can stop mashing. And just hold B and left. You can just hold down for all of this. It's not faster to turn into turns as much as it might feel faster. It's really not. At least not significantly faster. I think it's actually 1 frame slower in most cases. Because of the whole movement frames. So for the most part in these comps you want to avoid the fire. If it's close to the end of the fire and it's convenient to do so, you can dodge them and it's slightly faster, I believe. By dodge them, I just mean hide behind crates, the blocks, I guess. Like here, it's quicker to just... Oh, I thought it was going in a different direction. Usually you'll get your first encounter either running to this prog or just running from it around that area. That's normal. Anything sooner is early and anything later is late. Typically you'll get 2 encounters in this area. Also don't try to 2-turn escape in here, it doesn't always work. Typically you'll get 2 encounters, occasionally you'll get 1, and even though you want chips, only getting 1 encounter is a lot better than getting an extra chip. We have 3 chips right now, hope you're keeping track. That'll be the only HP memory we deliberately pick up, though some will be given to us. It'll become very apparent why later on. Don't worry about getting full synchro again after that fight. It's 4th chip, I believe. Because this cutscene will jack you out automatically. Well, not completely, but you'll switch to LAN, and that eats your full synchro, so you won't have it for the next fight. You need to talk to Mick 3 times, then examine this red monitor, and moving on. Oh, make sure to skip cutscenes as well. Trust me, you'll save a lot of time that way. Occasionally you make it further, but usually you won't make it behind that block, so I just never attempt to stop. Although if the fire's going that way and you do make it, you should stop. It saves a few frames. As long as you don't die, damage really doesn't matter. It's not difficult to dodge anything. Fireburner 1F is about the best thing you can get from here. Fire hits are also great. Guards are also pretty good. Mock guns are great. Mock guns lose usefulness pretty quickly though. There'll be 5 chips, I believe, so that's actually really good. The fire almost always goes that way there for some reason. So it's actually quicker to jack out here, but I usually do that at first. So we got our 5 chips. You don't want to double check that. Just remember, and if you get it wrong, I mean, worst case scenario, you lose a couple seconds editing, or you have to leave out like a guard. So we got 5. We're going to take out 4 recovs and area grab. It's possible you'll get 6, I think. No, 5 is the most you'll ever get. So if you do, no, yeah, you can get a 6th from mystery data. If you get a 6th white capsule, if you're crazy lucky and get like a 7th, take out like a sword or 2 on your way down, I guess, maybe mini bomb L. But mini bombs are kind of useful for Dive Man. And then when you come over to this page, you can just spam A until nothing else will fit in your folder. And we jack out, hold up and left, and spam R. This is about 9 seconds faster on average, assuming that you kill everything in the encounter that you would have gotten in 1 turn. Obviously, if it would take more turns, it's even better. Blastman is super easy. Try to explain a little bit as we fight him. It's actually better to save this white capsule. If I attach it to a sword, I can hit him again with another one immediately after. Small things that you can keep in mind. So he'll always move 4 times, and I missed the counter hit there, but on the 4th movement he'll do an attack. You wait briefly and shoot, you'll get a counter hit. Every time it works, just trust me. So I don't have enough damage to kill him yet, so I'm going to counter hit with this. I'm going to wide sword. This might kill him. Math is hard, I'm kind of lazy. If you start charging immediately after counter hitting, you'll have enough time. That was really bad because you did the wrong attack. You'll have plenty of time to hit him with a buster shot. Sometimes he'll troll you and not go to the front row when you have swords. Usually prefer to avoid swords, much for that reason. Alright, this is slower than the sword, probably, but it might also be faster. It wasn't because he went there. These won't counter hit him. They might counter hit his fire cyclone attack, but it's the only thing you have a chance on. That's pretty much how Blastman goes. Just have to do your best to counter hit. If you have 2 chips and he's not going to die on the second chip, you should wait for the chance to counter hit him with the second chip as well, so that you have full synchro again on the next chip and so on. You shouldn't just like counter him with the first chip then burn the full synchro right away. You should wait until you can counter hit again, because you're going to do more damage overall that way, even though it seems slower. You're going to have to open the menu again and take more chips, so it's more likely that it's going to help you in the long run. Also, putting White Capsule on the swords like that is really good, since they won't cause invuln frames. If they have a White Capsule attached, nothing will. Vulcans never cause invuln, so keep that in mind. Air shots, I believe, also never cause invuln, so keep that in mind as well. Besides that, Blastman's super easy. Just 4th movement, he'll do an attack. And he'll either do the one I think he did all but one time there, and the other one's the Firewall. He does that rarely, so I don't really have the counter hit timing down for that. Also, it's a little random, and he won't necessarily go to the column that you're in, so a lot of the time you can just not shoot, and you won't lose full synchro. The other one is the Fire Cyclone Tunnel thing that we didn't get to see. And that one, I think the counter hit timing is right as the attack goes off. It's a little difficult. I wouldn't recommend trying with anything but Wide Sword, honestly. You're probably just going to get hit in the process and lose full synchro. And yeah, that's about everything you need to know for Fireman, or Blastman. Make sure you keep track of your chips, that it's kind of important. You always want to get out the 4 recovery chips if possible. If somehow you end up with less than 4 chips, take out the L's first and then the A's for folder flow later on. And try to make a mental note that you still have Recuv 10s in your folder, because you're probably going to want to take them out. That wraps up the Fireman scenario, Blastman scenario. So hopefully this was helpful. It's a pretty straightforward scenario, but I'll be covering every scenario in the game. So good luck on your runs, and be back with Dive Man when I record it.